Objective 3.1, I can write the equation of a function based on the descriptions of transformations to a parent function. So in our second example, our parent function is h of x equals the absolute value of x. We want to reflect it over the y-axis, move it down 2 units, and have a horizontal stretch of 4. As always, when you're talking about the transformations, you want to identify if they're input changes, output changes, or both. So again, if we think about reflecting it over the y-axis, that's going to be a change of the inputs. Moving it down 2 units, that's a change of the outputs. Horizontally stretching, that's an input change. So we typically label those changes as inputs and outputs. And then we have to think about the input changes happen inside with the x, and they are the inverse of what they appear. And the output changes happen on the outside of the function. So thinking about the parent functions, we have the output changes here in locations for A and D. Typically vertical stretching and reflecting here in the A position, vertical shifts up and down in the D position. So here, since we're moving it down 2 units, that would happen here, and we'd be subtracting 2. Input changes happen inside with the x. B is talking about horizontally stretching and reflecting over the y-axis, and the C position would be moving left and right. So we have the input changes happening here. Reflecting over the y-axis is the opposite of the y's, and then the stretching of 4 would happen in that B position. So we already talked about how moving down 2 would be minus 2 at the end. We've got the reflection here, and again, input changes, horizontal movements, stretches, and shifts are the inverse of what they appear. So since it looks like we're stretching it by 4, you want to put a multiplier of 4. However, the inverse is what we need, so we need a multiplier of 1/4. And so if we simplify our equation, we're going to have h of x is equal to the absolute value of negative 1/4 x minus 2. Again, reflecting it over the y-axis, horizontally stretching a 4 down 2 units.